Today, I'm gonna show you how I became successful working with reptiles. And to do that, we have to step back in time a little bit. The first 2 decades that I was into reptiles, I was a snake breeder. Speaking of snake breeding, I have to get all these males in with female ball pythons. The truth is, snake breeding alone is not easy to become a millionaire. Don't get me wrong, it's happened in the past. There's a few people that have achieved that, but the majority of the time, it's a great stepping stone. So if you come from a lower income family like I am, where I basically just had no money, I didn't have anyone to help me invest in money, start my businesses, do anything like that. It was a great way from going from a little bit of money to actually having that seed money to actually take you to the level where you could actually become financially successful. Let me get one thing straight. You know, I never started breeding ball pythons, colubrid snakes, or any of the above to make money and to become financially wealthy. Because if you're doing that, you're probably in the wrong business. I mean, you should never really think money first, animal second. That doesn't mean that you can't be successful and do really well as a businessman and also work with animals. But you never can put the animals second, right? I didn't start off going like, oh, I want to start breeding snakes and start working with reptiles so that I can become financially stable or financially successful. What I did was I started working with these animals so that I could just work with these animals, right? I thought, like, how could I make enough money so that I could wake up every day and actually work with these beautiful animals like this super chocolate banana ball python? I mean, that was my whole motivation in life. It wasn't until later years where I realized, like, wow, I could actually make some money and actually become a relatively successful business person on top of doing what I love every day, which is working with animals. And of course, that goal over time evolves as well. And of course, that goal over time evolves as well. Over that first 20 years, it was all about growing the collection. As I made money breeding snakes, I would just buy more snakes to have more snakes to breed more snakes. And if I had to be completely honest with you, I would say I made money so that I could buy more animals that I just really wanted to work with. So it was a great excuse, right? I basically made enough money to buy really cool animals like pied Musarana rat snakes. And basically, it was just a way for me to say, oh, it's a business investment. And actually, it was more emotional than anything. But over those 20 years, we actually grew the business to be one of the most well-known reptile breeding companies in the world. But believe me, guys, success is not easy. It's all about sacrifice. And over the last couple decades, I have sacrificed so much. In order to be successful, that's the first thing that you have to realize, is that you have to sacrifice things. I always used to say, when I was 18, 19 years old, my friends would go out, have fun, go to parties and stuff like that. What was I doing? I was cleaning snakes. I was breeding snakes. I was doing everything I do to grow my business. Did I regret it? Absolutely not, because I was doing what I love. But I had to sacrifice all those things that all my friends were doing to actually be successful. Of course, doing whatever you're going to do to be successful is hard work. It's sacrifice, a lot of long hours. But I think one of the most important things to really be successful is to live far beneath your means. I mean, look at me. I've just got a t-shirt on. I've got jeans on. I don't wear fancy watches, jewelry. I don't drive fancy cars. I live way beneath my means. Now, listen, there's nothing wrong with those things if that's what makes you happy. I personally just think that if you live very modestly, much more modestly than your income is, that's going to really increase your success. Because my goal is not to be rich. My goal is to surround myself with things that I love and create experiences for other people so they love the things that I am passionate about. And like I said, just breeding snakes, it's difficult to be really successful, but that doesn't mean you can't be successful doing it. I'm just saying it's a little bit more difficult. What I think is you start layering other businesses, but those businesses are core to your beliefs and your passion. So you basically have your core business, which is working with reptiles. In my case, you start building businesses around that can actually add to the income stream. Fast forward to 2008, and it was my first business venture that wasn't breeding reptiles, and it happened to be a little thing called YouTube. It hadn't been around very long, so I figured I'd give it a shot. And believe it or not, this is the exact camera that I started with. It even has little cassettes, little mini DV cassettes right here. You guys know what cassettes are? Yeah, this was a state-of-the-art camera back then, and we shot a show called Snake Bites TV, and for several years it was pretty popular. Did it make much money? Not really, but it did get my feet wet on the world of YouTube. This is actually my Snake Bites TV 100,000 subscriber mark. We kind of stopped uploading at 800,000 subscribers. Maybe we'll get one of these plaques for Snake Bites one day. It's a channel that I would like to revive. I just don't know exactly what to do. Let me know down in the comments. But the fact was, it didn't make me a lot of money, but it did get me a lot of exposure, which did help my breeding company. It brought in another line of income that I wasn't expecting, which was selling merch. By the way, head over to reptilearmy.com. We have our new signature merch, brand merch out right now. We also have Valentine merch ready, reptilearmy.com. Listen, I can't not plug the merch when I'm talking about merch, right? At this point, I was moderately successful. Not really successful, but moderately successful. But then something happened? 2008, the Great Recession. That didn't work out that well for me. I don't talk about this often, but in 2008 through 2010, I really got hit hard. My business, after 20 years doing relatively well, actually got completely decimated, and I almost lost everything. Literally went from being in good position to I lost my building. I had to downsize my collection. I lost all kinds of personal assets. Literally, there was a point where I thought I was going to even lose my house. That's how bad it got. The fact that it was absolutely a horrible experience for me, it turned out to be a godsend. I actually moved into this building right here right after that. It seemed like a difficult thing because I had to downsize my collection by about 70 or maybe 80%, so we only had about 20% of the animals. We had what seemed like a small area to us at BHB upstairs, and then of course the dungeon downstairs, and that was it. But the fact is it really was a good thing for me because it gave me a chance to really kind of refocus and reset myself, to really think like, which direction do I want to go? I went through so much hardship in 2008 through 2010. I knew I had to change the way I thought about business because I never wanted to revisit those years. And then 6 years ago, I ditched Snake Bites TV. I upgraded my camera to this Lumex GX7, and I started this vlog channel. And for the very first time, social media started to make me money. It wasn't long we got this plaque here, 1 million subscribers on our vlog channel, and YouTube was really crushing along. I was making some pretty good money, and I was reinvesting it into my business. But I wasn't investing into mass producing snakes because I kind of moved past that. That wasn't what I wanted to do in the future, but it was really helping my other businesses grow. Then the idea of the Reptarium hatched. The problem was I only had the one bay of the building. There was 3 bays in here, and they were taken up. So I patiently waited, thinking one day I might be able to acquire the entire building. And sure enough, after a couple years, the person that was occupying this space that I'm standing in right now ended up moving out, and I was able to acquire the space and open up the first Reptarium. And the funny thing is I talked to all my financial friends about the investment into the Reptarium. Should I do it? Should I do it? And every single person told me it was an absolutely horrible investment. Don't do it. It's what they would call a passion project. You're never going to make your money back. Nothing is ever going to work out. But hey, if you want to do it and waste your money, go ahead and do it. And I spent every dollar I had to open up the Reptarium, thinking like, hey, I may never make a dollar back. But from the day that we opened up, it was absolutely swamped. So much so that it wasn't long before we decided to open up 2.0. Did it again. I spent basically everything I had to do the expansion to make it even bigger, twice the size, cool as could be. It was all about putting all my money back into it to try to grow the business as much as I possibly could. We did open up March, Friday the 13th, 2020. I think we all know what happened just a few days later. Needless to say, it was quite the hiccup. We were closed for over 4 months. But once we reopened, it was business as usual. Well, as close as business as usual it could get. We were slammed, and people were standing in line to get in as much as they could, and it became a huge success. So a little recap. BHB Reptiles was still doing really well. The Reptarium was doing absolutely amazing. Social media was growing, making us really good money. And I started to invest in things like Reptile Prime, which is a betting company, Redline Science. I started Reptile Army. Things were kind of going well. I'm building all these businesses, but you got to remember, it's all around the core belief of love of reptiles. Again, not getting away from the core belief of what I'm interested in, which of course is educating and getting people to love the animals that I love so much. At this point, things were going great. You know, making money, doing what I love. Things seemed to be running really smooth. You would think that that was it. I was ready, I was done, and I was just going to enjoy the ride for the rest of my life. But no, that wasn't going to happen. That's right, we've decided to ruin a multi-million-dollar building, put millions and millions of dollars into an expansion for a reptile zoo, mammals, and an aquarium across the street. And it was all about expanding my dream to kind of have the most incredible experiences possible. But let's hope that 2 years from now, I'm making a video about how successful that place was. I think by now you guys understand that my motivation isn't money. I don't wake up in the morning thinking like, how can I make money? I wake up in the morning thinking, can I make money so that I can create experiences that are amazing, that people can fall in love with these animals like my girl Ivy here. That's what gets me motivated, right? The money is just a vehicle in order to do the things that I want to do. If I didn't make enough money, I wasn't going to be able to do things like I'm going to do. And I can't change people's lives. So the money is just a byproduct of what I actually want to do, which has nothing to do with getting rich. Hey, listen, I even bought an aquarium house, spent a ton of money on the house, then put tons of money into awesome experience that you can do in the house. By the way, ready to rent, link in the description. We're actually going live actually right now, and you can rent that place out. Come here, stay there, have an experience at the Reptarium, one day have an experience at the aquarium. I spent a ton of money on that place, and it was all about having the coolest experience available as possible. Listen, diversification, of course, is important, and I am very diversified. I have a lot of different businesses that bring in income streams, but they're all based around that core belief. It's all about the things that I'm really passionate about, because like I said, I can't wake up in the morning and get excited about just making a dollar. I have to wake up in the morning and get excited about the things that I absolutely love, and the things that I want to share. And if I make money, That's an absolute bonus. It's crazy to think that this journey started when I was 15 years old, never knowing how far it was going to take me, what wild turns it was going to take me, and I couldn't be happier with the direction that we're on right now. And my journey is far from over. Even when we get done with the aquarium, listen, you guys know I'm not going to stop. I'm going to go to the next project. I'm going to do that till the day I die because that's what I'm passionate about. And this video is all about inspiring you guys to follow your dreams. Listen, it's not easy to achieve your dreams. There's no doubt about it, but you have to remember money isn't going to make you happy. I have a lot of really wealthy friends, and some of them are happy because they do things they love, but it's never about the money. It's always about surrounding yourself with things that you love. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, there's a playlist that you can watch all kinds of videos. You can also hit that subscription button. It would mean a lot to me. Also, hit that like button while you're down there. Have a wonderful day, Reptile Army. Remember, be kind to someone, and I promise I'll see you in the next one.